tune in next week on the Daily Motor OnlyFans to see Charlie eat Chris's fajita meat. My beard is long.
It is. Why is that?
Because I usually trim it once per week. Thank you. Alyssa likes it too, and that's why it's still long.
Oh, okay.
Because I brought my trimmer on the trip, but then I trimmed my neck, which I typically do a few times a week, but I didn't trim this, which I typically do once a week, and so this is a few weeks of beard.
Okay. Cool.
But
Me too.
last year, last year for Christmas, Alyssa got me a beard wash.
A beard wash.
Yeah, like a special beard shampoo. I think it's got like eucalyptus and mint.
Oh, that's
shit.
polite.
Yeah,
probably good for your skin and everything.
I think it is. Yeah, keeps the
very polite.
Yeah, very nice. Welcome to episode 58 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
We're really getting up there.
Yeah,
AARP in full force. We've already had our Corvettes for 8 years at this point.
Chrome wheels, automatic transmission.
Personalized messages on the cluster when you start the car.
Yeah, hello, Mike.
Have fun, Mike.
Is that what it was? Have fun, Mike?
Have fun, Mike. That car just sold on BAT last week, yeah. 35 grand, I think.
35 grand for a C6
Which
automatic.
is more than they... Well, I mean, they were... I should say they were very pleased with the price that they got for it.
I believe, especially in the winter.
Very pleased.
Where'd it go to? Florida?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, good
Probably.
chance. Where did it go up? BAT? I think you said
BAT.
That. Yeah. Bring a trailer for you uncultured folk. We're back. We're back from California. We haven't recorded a podcast in
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
The one you guys heard last week, we recorded the week prior, so we're a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
We forgot how to make a podcast.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to find out really quick.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
minutes.
remember.
Yep. Thank you for the nice comments some of you left on the Going Out to California podcast.
Oh, yeah.
One of you recommended going to Griffith Observatory, and I really wanted to do that. I had tried to do that multiple times with Alyssa and once with Chris, and it never worked out. I was a bit disappointed. Part of it was because Alyssa and I considered going, and then it said it was going to take like an hour and a half to get there with traffic and
we were too busy partying in West Hollywood.
Yeah. Chris went hard in the paint. Chris was out all the time partying, and we drove a lot of
cars. Yeah.
Cool cars, cool roads. We're going to get to all of that here today.
Unbelievable trip.
Yeah, super great. We'll break that all down. We're going to go through the cars we've got this week, which are kind of unique as well.
They are.
But we should start off with my trip in this morning, because I got to drive my truck.
Oh, there it is. I think a lot of people still don't know that you traded trucks, because I think you talked about it.
Officially announce
you talked about it, but it was at the very end of the last podcast. So I don't think a lot of people are aware. So you should just kind of reiterate.
So a quick recap for everyone. Back nearly a year ago, Chris convinced me to buy a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid.
Was that like a year ago already?
Almost. It was like April, I think. On CoPart, and we won the auction. I got it for about $1,200 or so, single owner, 300-some thousand mile green Escape Hybrid. I was very happy. He didn't have to convince me much. I'd always wanted one of those.
Yeah.
And then recently, this fall, I traded it, straight trade, for a 2003 Ford F350 Super Duty King Ranch Power Stroke, 6 liter.
6 liter, that's important.
Yep. And that truck was clapped. And then I straight traded it about a month later for a 2003 F250 Super Duty extended cab 5.4 liter V8 gas. And it is in Sonic Blue color. And you know what I discovered last night while doing some research? 2003 was the only year for Sonic Blue.
Really?
Yeah, which is it's all fine and dandy and everything to have like a rare truck. But the problem is you can't get parts in that body color, man. They are nearly impossible.
You could use a door, and
I could use a door, I could use a bed, I could use another door, and I'm not getting any of them in that color, that's for sure. And to be honest with you, I love Sonic Blue, but I don't think it's a great like big tough truck color. I'd rather have maroon or black or something like that. But either way, I'm loving the truck, and started right up today, even with its 5-year-old battery. And scrape the snow off with a big shovel. I'm getting it off there.
That's good.
And, yep.
Wouldn't want to scratch that perfect paint, though. I hope you were.
I used the shovel on the windshield.
Shovel? You used a shovel on the glass?
Yeah, there's a lot of snow. A lot of snow and ice.
Oh, like a plastic shovel.
Yeah, not like a spade.
I'm picturing a spade. I was like, oh my God.
No, like a plastic
Charlie with
shovel.
the spade hitting his
ching,
windshield.
ching, ching. No, it was like a big old plastic because it was sitting outside and it had 4 or 5 inches of snow and ice on it. But yeah, truck started right up. Heat works great. And
Good.
Frosted the windshield and drove
Do
it
you have
in.
heated seats in there or no?
No, it is the XL2 Sport package, but no heated seats. Not like my King Ranch had.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to driving that around some this week. Testing out the 4-wheel drive, which we're still not. We're pretty sure works, but we haven't really gotten to test it yet. I even was able to back up into the B lot in unplowed snow in just rear-wheel drive. Just like, yeah, probably helps that there's probably about 80 pounds worth of snow in the bed.
Helped weigh you down a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the bed isn't very
there.
structurally
Isn't it held on
sound.
by 2x4s?
There are 4x4s in like somewhere in there.
Blocks of wood.
Blocks of wood.
There are blocks of wood.
Yeah, square blocks of wood.
That are
Cubicle.
mounting it because I'm assuming the mounting point's rusted out.
Something like that.
Or rusted away.
But I've been doing a lot of research in what one can do to sort of remedy that. And
Scrap the truck.
No, rude. No, it actually will end up probably being fairly similar to what my previous truck was, the F350. Just get a big old piece of sheet metal or something.
Welded in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or you could do plywood, which
they've already done.
No, like the whole bed.
Oh, you mean
bottom.
the whole bed? I gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
because not only are there huge.
Yeah, because you had like that diamond plate welded into the 350, right? Yeah.
Yep. Not only are there blocks of wood pushing up on the bottom of the bed, but also there are holes cut out in the bed for where the previous owner had a fifth wheel attachment mounted in there.
Isn't it crazy how rusty cars get up here?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You go down to California and you see a similar truck, like a 2003 F250, and there's not a speck of rust on it. And it's so weird to us. Obviously, anyone listening in the South, it's just whatever. But like having grown up in Michigan and that's just normal to see cars that are 10 plus years old just be totally rusted into the ground. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, we just kind of
20-year-old cars like don't even exist anymore. Like cars will be perfectly driving vehicles and they have to get scrapped because the frames are just rotted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next year on Chris's and my California trip, we plan on driving cars back.
Yes, we're booking a one-way next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to purchase vehicles.
Which will be a bad influence on me just not coming back.
You'll be like, why do I need to leave? I got a car right here. I can live in it. You'll buy an excursion and you'll simply just live in the back on the beach.
Start living in it. I'm gonna park in Malibu on the public parking on the street and just sleep there.
Yeah, honestly, not the worst idea. Yeah, we could buy a conversion van each year.
Yeah, and just live out there.
And then we don't even have to book an Airbnb. That can just live in the van. We live in the van.
Put the press cars though.
Street. Amos and Tedward will still get
get
a house. We can park the cars there.
Yeah,
we can live on the street. Yeah, so let us know in the comments what we should purchase next year in LA to drive back, because we were thinking Excursion, obviously, F250,
F-Series truck.
F-Series in general, and F-150 be smart too.
Expedition,
plausible. Toyota 4Runner and
Toyota trucks.
Tacoma, Tundra even.
I'm definitely thinking a truck just because, like I said, I mean, every truck up here is just rusted to crap. So like people I think would be more keen. You mentioned a Corvette, which I think is a good idea in its own way, just because they're probably oversaturated down there. There's a lot of them. You could get them cheaper, but at the same time, up here, nobody drives their Corvettes in the winter. So like Corvettes up here are still clean. So it would more so be getting it cheap because of the market as opposed to rust things.
However, I think older like 4th gen Camaro would be a good idea because people
those
up
are
here
rusted out.
Treat them crappier.
Yeah,
and
Fox body Mustang.
Fox body, a lot of Mustangs.
All rusted out.
Yeah, SN95s too.
SN95. Yeah, those just aren't really worth much though yet. They may be soon. But Fox bodies are like getting
that's
up
true.
there.
Fox body would be smart.
Fox bodies are like really,
and a Mustang would be great to drive across country back.
I remember in high school when like nice Fox bodies were like $5,000 and now they're like $20,000.
That just means SN95 is coming next.
They're next.
Because it's more so me than you, but we grew up with like the SN95 and whatever the one was after that as being like the Mustang of the time. Yeah. So now that people our age are starting to get to the buying cars, they're going to start going up.
My buddy Eric bought a 93 Mustang 5.0 manual in Calypso green, which is a very rare color. Is a 93, so it's the last year of the Fox body. It's like the color of your phone. It's like a teal green. and he paid like $3,000 for it, and it was a rust-free new motor, like beautiful example that today, if you were to buy it, probably be like a $15,000 car.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And he sold it. He kicks himself for it, but I think he sold it for like $5,000 back in like 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of Miata. The downsides are you have to drive
a lot of Miatas up here are rusted out.
Yeah, but you do have to drive the Miata all the way back.
That would suck. I drove a Miata to Ocean City and back once, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
We did a whole thing,
but it was
top
raining
down too. Oh, no, you didn't. Okay.
I did I did all of it until it started raining.
Okay.
I had to pull over on the side of the highway and put the top up because I was getting soaked. Excuse me. And it was just sketchy in the rain and in the dark. I was clenched. I literally got out of that car and my shoulders were like this. Like it was so bad. So no, I don't think I'd want to do a Miata cross country. I would want something cozy for sure. Yeah,
cozy, cushy.
Yeah.
Or if it's gonna be sporty, at least a little bit more of that like GT sort of deal.
Yeah. Even like a Lexus SC300.
I was gonna say JDM.
Yeah,
type
or like a Lexus
well.
LS400, even an IS300, a GS300.
A lot
of those are becoming
also,
really hard to find.
Older Honda products, like a like cleaner Civics, Civic SI, things like that. Just find one that the paint hasn't
so many
deteriorated on.
And honestly, I don't think of paint as being a huge deal because it's
so
easier.
Easily remedied.
It's easy to I shouldn't say it's easy to just repaint a car, but it's easier to repaint a car that isn't rusty.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to fill anything.
Yes.
Unless you have dings and dents and whatever, but
yeah,
just paint over those.
I definitely think we can make some money on it, and we can make some cool video content. Picking out the car, getting the car, and driving them back.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. So I would definitely like to do that next year.
Also, speaking of fun cars for sale, before we get into the cars we drove out in LA, I finally got a message on Peggy.
Oh.
Peggy is listed for sale.
Peggy's
now.
For sale, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Should you want
I'm just as
2006 Chrysler Town & Country.
I'm just as sad as all of you.
Yeah.
I know you have quite a few subscribers that really, really like Peggy. I personally know that you do because I've been sent messages about Peggy asking how she is and where is she and all. Yeah.
Okay. I really ought to do a follow-up video. Maybe we'll do that this week. But because I've never shot, I don't think I've ever shot a daily.
You did a Comparo.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. But I think that's about it. One message. So quick recap. I paid $750 for this van back in 2008.
And he's put no money into it.
2017, I think. And I put all in. I'm probably like $1,100.
Yeah.
Because
I put you've put like nothing into it.
Yeah.
It's like the cheapest car ownership ever.
And someone today offered me $1,600.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
You should take that.
I said, no, I need at least 19.
And they probably didn't reply to you.
No, he did. He said he's getting paid on Friday, and if he can pay for rent and everything else and get enough money,
give it to him for 16, Charlie. If he has to think about rent, Jesus. If he's like a really nice guy, and if he's like horrible, then like whatever. But if he shows up and he's like a really nice guy,
then I should give it to him.
Oh man, thanks so much. Like I really need this. I would give it to him for 16.
He said,
if it were me, anyways.
Let me see if I can borrow a little more. I have been saving up, but I'm not quite there yet. Thank you for your time. I hope I can get back to you soon.
Is it a kid? Sounds like a kid.
I don't know. I don't get paid till Friday, and I will have to cover rent first, so I will try. Thanks again. This is one of my most pride and joy vehicles, Chris. I'm not just going to hand it away for double what I paid for it. I know what I have.
Jeez.
Yeah. So updates on that. We'll see.
Let's start a rumor about you hating poor people since you started a rumor about me hating women.
That rumor was quickly dissolved.
That's
that
true.
one didn't catch.
Yeah.
No one believed me on that one.
Yeah, obviously.
So our California trip, it was pretty darn cool. We got out there. We stayed in an Airbnb in Topanga, which is remarkable to me because for those of you unfamiliar with the greater Los Angeles area, you get the largest metropolitan area in the country and the second largest actual incorporated city. New York is larger by population, but the general LA metro area is the largest in the country.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of people, like tens of millions right there in that area.
Is it really tens of millions?
I think it's at least 10 million people like within like out in the valley and like down to like Orange County and stuff. And then yet
it's too many.
You get like 25 minutes up the road and it feels like you're out in the middle of
Washington.
Yeah.
Like Washington State, Oregon. Like it's literally in the mountains. Everybody's wearing plaid ponchos and has beards and goes to the same coffee shop every day and knows everyone else. And they sit down with their newspaper. And it's such a polar opposite vibe of LA.
Yeah. And yet it's so close.
It's so close.
It blows me away that more people, and I understand you can't live there because it's millions and millions of dollars probably to get
in
any
Topanga?
house. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to live there anyways because there's no cell service.
Can't scroll TikTok very easily.
How would I scroll TikTok? No, actually our Wi-Fi was pretty good though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like it was pretty good.
Yeah. And even just the fact that we were going on hiking trails and Alyssa and I took an hour-long hike and didn't see a single other person. And yet, like, you got these millions of people stuffed in like sardines into this concrete jungle, and you could just go right up the street and have this beautiful. I mean, you and Emily and I went on this beautiful hike,
and we
Alyssa,
saw like maybe 4 or 5 people. There were people walking dogs.
Lots of dogs.
Yeah.
But so Topanga was really cool. We got a rental up there, nicely priced, beautiful views, hot tub, nice place, really good there. And we picked up at the airport there at LAX a Toyota Mirai, which was the same one you had driven.
Very excited.
Yeah, this was cool. This is a hydrogen vehicle.
Yeah.
That was a nice little car to drive around. It had...
that car was great.
Yeah, it's based... the second gen Mirai here is based on the Lexus LS platform, the same large car platform. I think that's literally what Toyota calls it, is the large sedan or large car platform. And it is hydrogen powered, but it's a hybrid as well. So you have a little battery in there that provides a little oomph to get you going.
Yeah.
And then the hydrogen fuel cell converts hydrogen gas into, takes a hydrogen molecule, zips off an electron, and then that powers the car, and then the byproduct is H2O. So Chris was able to follow me and just see steam coming out of the back of my car. And that was pretty cool. It's pretty quiet. It drives like a Prius that doesn't have a clattery engine that kicks in.
Yeah, Charlie liked it a lot because it reminded him of his Prius, but it was larger and more comfortable, and the steering was excellent in the way that it was very light and easy to navigate the Topanga hills.
Yeah, well, not only that, but driving it around LA as well, the steering was light and it was kind of peppy and lower speed. So
yeah, I liked that car a lot. I mean, like, I drove one at HQC in Texas, but I only drove it for maybe an hour combined. I shot it for Topher and Winding Road. But actually being able to spend some time in one was nice. I'm definitely glad that we went through with getting that car.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is we saw multiple Mirais, not only at the fueling station, but just around the city. I saw a few everywhere. A day.
A lot of first gen Mirais.
I did not see a single Hyundai Nexo, which is Hyundai's
I did.
competitor.
I saw one.
Did you?
Yes, we were at PEC. I was getting ready to do launch control in the Turbo S, and I looked over, and in the distance on the highway was a rose gold Hyundai Nexo, and I thought Charlie would love to see that. But then immediately I took my foot off the brake and blasted away.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. So I think Toyota really does have a stronghold on the hydrogen vehicle market.
Yeah.
We did hear from some owners at the fueling station that fueling is still inconsistent. Sometimes you'll go to a station, it'll be out of hydrogen, or that simply will not be working. And unlike an electric vehicle, which you could simply plug in at your house, and even if you're just on a wall outlet, it'll get you something. Like you could plug it in overnight and get 20 miles of range or something like that, even on a pretty thirsty EV.
Right.
Hydrogen car, if you're out, you're out.
Yeah, it was so funny because Charlie and I were shooting our review, which you all will see soon. And we're like, oh, well, part of our review is we'll go and get hydrogen. Because, neither of us had ever done it. We wanted to experience it. We're like, oh, well, we'll have plenty of time to be there and, do the whole thing. Like, no one else is going to be getting hydrogen while we're there. We pull in, immediately another Mirai pulls in, like right after we do. And we're like, okay, well, that's like a weird coincidence. So we'll like back up and we'll let him go. Well, it turns out he wasn't even coming to get hydrogen. He was just checking to see if the hydrogen pump was working.
Yeah.
So Charlie talked to him for a little bit. I'm sitting there. In the meantime, another Mirai pulls in. So we move aside for this lady to go up. And it turns out she's never done it before either. So Charlie had to go help her, even though he's never done it, to go put hydrogen in her Mirai. And then by the time she leaves, we pull up and like 3 other Mirais pull in. I have a video of it that we're going to put in the review. It's like 4 Mirais at the gas station. Well, it was a gas station.
It's the fueling station.
Fueling station. Well, it was
also a gasoline station, yes.
So it was just funny how in our minds we're like, oh, we'll be the only one there. And there were ended up being 6 Mirais, including us. So I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. The fueling experience was remarkably similar to gasoline.
Yeah.
You simply put on the nozzle.
Except it's freezing cold.
Yeah, because you got this condensed air going through there. And then it fuels up and you can leave. So I very much like hydrogen as a fuel. The biggest hurdle right now is sourcing the hydrogen, because hydrogen doesn't exist naturally because
They have
it's
to
such an
create
unstable molecule. It wants to become helium or some other ion, or I guess molecule. So it takes a lot of energy to create it. Now, someone pointed out on some video I was watching or whatever that if we can, that's clever there. If we can figure out a way to get really cheap power in order to create that hydrogen, then it could be justified. Think of this. Out in the desert, oodles of solar electricity. So you have this huge solar farm, and then you're using that energy from the sun to create hydrogen, to break it up, water molecules or whatever, and get hydrogen, put them away. Then you could take that hydrogen, send it to the gas stations, the hydrogen fueling stations, and then that would be a less expensive and more environmentally friendly way to provide fuel. But right now, driving a hydrogen vehicle is not particularly practical or particularly cost effective, but it is good for the environment because literally the only byproduct is water, which is really cool.
Steam. And there's a little button inside you can hit. It's called like purge or something, and it just lets out all the steam. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah. Yep. That's so if you were pulling into your garage or something and you didn't want water to be dripping on the ground as you're in your garage, you can get it out beforehand.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's polite. I think it's more of a party trick than anything.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it does.
But it does serve some purpose.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder how hydrogen cars work in the cold. Because what if the steam came out and then just like froze instantly or something? I could see like the condensation on the back of the car becoming an issue. A lot of buildup.
We wouldn't know, would we? Because they only exist in Southern California.
Right.
Well, guess we'll find out someday.
Yeah, maybe. So that was pretty cool. We also picked up a base model, poverty spec, Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah, base Cayenne. It's a 22, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You say poverty spec, but it had like 25 grand in options.
Yeah,
it had air suspension, rear wheel steering, spider wheels, premium plus, so like panoramic moonroof, Bose, heated elements.
Although no rear heated seats, which was a bit of a disappointment. But I actually don't
rear climate.
I don't blame them for building a press vehicle without rear stuff, because how often is that actually being used?
Right. Yeah.
So if they're going to save money, I do think that's smart.
Yeah. The rear wheel steering was nice though, up in the tight canyons.
Roads. That thing was agile.
Over it.
And the air suspension was nice because there were times that we did some off road, like hiking and things, and we were able to raise it remarkably high. No, I was thinking of the Rivian. Still a significant amount of ground clearance.
Oh yeah, it would raise way up.
Yep.
I liked that car. It was a good all rounder, but I could see, like, I understand why people buy Mercedes, BMW, cars that are a little bit less driver focused, because the Cayenne, the steering is quite heavy. I never really had
an issue with it, but I recognize that it's heavier
heavy
than
steering.
It should be.
It's like a CX-50. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
This thing
having an issue. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll keep talking about the Cayenne steering. Mm-hmm. I like and don't get me wrong, the steering on the Cayenne is excellent when you're actually driving it. Like if you're up on like a fast canyon road, like there's no other SUV in that class that feels as connected as the Cayenne, and you wouldn't expect anything less from a Porsche. Porsche has a way of making all of their cars feel like Porsches. The Macan, the Cayenne, the Panamera, the Taycan, they all still kind of feel like a 911. So it was nice in that respect, but it kind of became a chore for me maneuvering the Cayenne around downtown city centers and things. Also because it shuts off with the auto start stop when you're going like 10 miles an hour still. So sometimes when you're coming to a stop and you've got your foot on the brake and the car shuts off and you're like, okay, whatever, I can roll to a halt. But then like maybe the light turns green and you're like, oh crap, I need to change lanes. You don't have power steering and you like have to give it something to get it to come back to life. And it's like the most obnoxious thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah. I had some times where I was like, like trying to steer it into another lane because it had shut off, and it won't turn back on just from a steering input like some cars do.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, not the best thing.
I also had a bit of an issue with the Cayenne in that I destroyed the sidewall on it.
Yeah, you did do that. You did 2 tires while we were out there.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I
came off the 110 freeway, and there was a remarkably large gap in between the highway, like asphalt, concrete, and then the road I was coming onto. And I was following my GPS. I was trying to get where I was going, and I didn't really I wasn't in like Michigan watch for potholes mode.
Yeah,
I was
in California. You don't expect that sort of thing at all.
And also, this is a main highway exit. It's not like we were up in Topanga where like the roads had deteriorated from the rains.
And it's
like,
a fast highway exit too. It's not like not a super
there was a
curvy.
green light, and I just coasted right through.
Yeah.
And pow! And I looked down, and I got a TPMS light.
Yeah.
I have never, living in Michigan for driving age of 11 years, I have never once, knock on wood, destroyed a sidewall before. And then this Porsche Cayenne, which is a remarkably capable off-road SUV.
It did have the 21-inch spider wheels, which I think probably is what did it.
Yeah.
It was just funny because I went down that same exit ramp in the 911T, and I was like full stop on the brakes because I was going fast too, and I saw it ahead of me, and I've got a Ram truck on my bumper, and I'm like, okay, so either I'm going to smash two wheels on this or get rear-ended by a Ram truck. Luckily, he was paying attention and he stopped. He came to a stop with me, but I went over it at like 1 mile an hour, and it was still like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. And then you sent me that, and I was like, oh, I kind of immediately was like, okay, that's probably where that happened.
So that was unfortunate. But then we did go to the Porsche Experience Center, which we'll recap more in a minute. But we also got to do off-roading in a Porsche Cayenne. And that was remarkable. It was really, really capable.
It was impressive.
It went up super, super steep grades. It went down a 78-degree grade. That means we're only
were
12 degrees away from vertical.
We were dangling. It was, if you guys watch, I'm sure the Topher will have a video up on his channel, but if he looked back at all with his POV, you could see Charlie and I dangling with our arms in the back seat. It was a really cool experience.
It really was.
I was feeling a little nauseous after that.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a little unsettling. Yeah. Some of those off-road things, but Cayenne overall, it's a good car. I mean,
it's a good car. It's just not a great luxury car. It's a great driver's SUV.
And that's just it. I mean, if the number one thing you care about is driving and you have a family, the Cayenne is the car for you. A family of two, maybe three. Mm-hmm. You could fit two kids back there.
Yeah, but three would be unfortunate.
Well, three including a wife or a husband or whatever.
Yeah.
A significant other, I should say.
Sure. Another adult and then two kids.
Another adult and two kids, you'd be fine in a Cayenne.
Yeah. Yep. Porsches are not luxury vehicles. I mean, they are at this point in time, but like that's not their raison d'être. That wasn't the reason that Porsches are
French?
Yeah, it means reason to be. Of the 911, the Boxer, anything like their driver's cars first and then luxury vehicles. So that's where the Cayenne exists. And I agree with you that there are other vehicles in that class that are more luxurious. And I mean, your cousin's a great example, or essentially cousin, Tori, who has a Cayenne. And
doesn't love it.
Yeah, he
doesn't. But he runs
drives it around
downtown Chicago, so it's not a good car for that.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he doesn't have the 21-inch spider wheels.
No, he does have 21-inch wheels, I think, though. Well, maybe they're 20s. They might be 20s. I think they're a little bit smaller. Sure. They're optional wheels, though, that are pretty big. Mm-hmm. I like I said, I felt the same way about the Cayenne, and then I really got it out on a curvy road, and I was like, dang, this is
I was leading impressive. You guys at one point through the canyons, and you were in the Corolla or something, or 911 or something like that, and I was just sending it. Also, I will say, excuse me,
bless you,
hungry burp, that I've heard with the Porsche SUVs, anything below the S is kind of not that good.
I've heard that too.
I bet you the Cayenne S would be quite a bit better.
Yeah. But I think it's the same motor, actually. Oh,
it is.
Emily has brought me some lunch.
Oh, good. Did she bring me some too?
Well, it was just leftovers. She didn't actually go and buy anything. Mm. But if you'd like some of my fajita meat, I suppose you can have some.
Tune in next week on the Daily Motor OnlyFans to see Charlie eat Chris's fajita meat.
All right. And with that, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. It's Charlie, Daily Motor.
No, it's not. Then you're Chris.
No, you're Chris. We just switched. We're in an alternate dimension now.
Gaslighting the listeners.
Maybe.
I have 2 people interested in that cabinet out there this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get that sold.
Okay. $50. I told you you'd be able to.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you recommended that, because I was legitimately going to just toss in the dumpster.
Yeah. Would have been throwing away $50.
Yep. Silly me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're back.
Yeah.
So next, we turned in the Mirai and got to drive the all-new 2023 Toyota GR Corolla.
Yeah.
Core trim.
Yeah.
That car is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
We need more cars like that.
Yes, I really commend
every
Toyota
company, every manufacturer needs to make one. And actually, a lot of them are now.
Yeah.
Because we went through a period where we didn't have a lot of hot hatches, but now we have the GR Corolla. We've got the Civic Si and Type R. We've got the Golf GTI and R. We've got all of the minis, the Golf and the minis. Those have always been around. And we have the
all the N's
Hyundai. Yeah, we've got all the Hyundai N cars. We've got Subaru WRX.
Forte GT.
Kia Forte GT. There are a lot of options now, and we went through a period when like Ford, killed all their
everyone dipped.
Everyone dipped for a second, and I want to thank Hyundai, I think, for kind of lighting a fire under everyone with the Veloster N.
Yeah, Veloster N really turned everything up because, interestingly, Hyundai and Kia actually had made decently sporty versions of their smaller cars for many years before that.
They do a horrible job branding them.
Yeah, they do really crappy job branding. And Kia still does a poor job branding it. But Hyundai got smart, and they did this whole N side brand, and it's actually done really, really well.
You getting a phone call?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The GR Corolla is not the perfect car for everyone, but it is quite fun. It's not as quick and fast as you might think reading 300 horsepower. I mean, 300 horsepower is probably just what they were able to achieve at the crank because they wanted to hit that magic number. They didn't want to publish like 296 or something.
Right.
They wanted to get to something they could report as 300 horse, hit that magic third digit there. But you're putting it to an all-wheel drive powertrain, and it's a Toyota, so it's not always as peppy as some of the other brands. So it's not going to pull as strong as something like the Civic Type R. I bet you in a drag race, sorry, I should say in a roll race, even the Hyundai cars would be faster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's a fun amount of power because it's a 3-cylinder. So it sounds different than everything else on the market.
Yeah.
And the exhaust sometimes can be a little boomy, but it was overall fun, and the manual transmission is surprisingly good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Clutch. Oh, actually, you know what? The steering is quite light.
Steering is very light,
very
but still pretty communicative.
Clutch shifter feel is great. I like the steering feel, even though it is a little bit light, and I just overall really enjoyed that car. It was such a fun little package. Did we shoot a review on that? We did, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would so much rather have that car over a Subaru WRX.
Oh, me too.
And there's not to say there aren't things about the WRX I enjoy and might even like better.
Yeah.
But you can't hear the motor in the WRX.
That's right.
So when it comes time to shift, you never know what's going on. In the Corolla, you can hear it.
Yeah. It would be a struggle to recommend. I feel like, honestly, as a daily driver, I may still recommend the WRX.
Yeah, because it rides better.
Because it rides better. It's
not
a little bit bigger. It's not as boomy. And I feel like there are more places to put things also in the WRX.
Few places for things in the Corolla.
I like the GR Corolla. It's better to drive, and I think that if someone like lived up in the canyons, or even if someone was like, hey, I want something that's like just straight up really fun, I don't care about being, overly comfortable, then GR Corolla.
Yeah, I think it would be smart for Toyota to take the Corolla Apex, put a tuned down version of the 3-cylinder in it,
give it like 220 horsepower.
Yeah, because right now Toyota essentially has a Focus and then a Focus RS with no Focus ST in the middle.
Right?
Yeah. So make a front-wheel drive Corolla with 200
awesome.
and some 40 horse.
Yeah.
And the manual transmission. It'd be really, really cool.
It would be sweet.
Yeah. Because you drive the manual Corolla hatch right now, the base one, and it's like
whatever.
It's kind of fun, but it's just
and
underpowered.
A lot of companies are doing this kind of mid-grade. Honda has the Civic Si. Volkswagen has the GTI.
Mm-hmm.
Even Hyundai has the N-Line cars, which are kind of that middle point. So yeah, I agree with you that it'd be cool if Toyota would take the Apex and
make it ride nicely, because there are people like my father who like the idea of this Corolla the GR Corolla, but he's not going to want to live with that.
Yeah.
Sort of, he wants cushier.
My dad lived with a Focus RS. He did daily Focus RS for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and I think the Focus RS is even more harsh than the GR
I think
Corolla.
So too. Yeah, although you definitely have to drive them back to back. But overall, I agree with you. Yep. The GR Corolla also has a slightly better turning radius than the Focus RS. Yes. I think the Focus RS has possibly the worst turning radius I've ever experienced.
It's a horrible turning radius.
Yeah.
Yes,
really bad. Then we picked up a 2020 Lamborghini Huracan STO. And for those of you unfamiliar with the STO version of the Huracan, it is the top dog Huracan. It was $410,000.
It looks like the race car.
$10,000. It does. I was watching
it looks like the race car.
the 24 Hours of Daytona was on this weekend, and I watched a little bit, and it just looks just like the race car they used there. It's got big old hood scoops, no frunk, huge wing, and it was a lot of fun to drive for all of 35 miles.
I was going to say one of the other features is that it had a nail in the tire.
Yeah. You know what would kind of be interesting is if maybe like the nail was in there when we got the car and it just came out.
And it came out
as we were driving it more aggressively. Yeah. But no, more realistically, we ran over a nail. And fortunately, thank goodness, we were able to limp it back to the dealer and had a fun hour and a half. Get back.
I was gonna say we were ripping the canyons. Charlie's in the Huracan because you have to be 25 to drive a Lamborghini. I'm 24, so I couldn't do it. But I was behind him in the GR Corolla, having a blast. You know, just absolutely 10/10thing this GR Corolla to keep
as
up
I'm
with
like
the Huracan.
Coasting through
as Charlie's coasting. I'm like hitting red line in every gear, like just banging gears. And anyways, we're like okay, you know, let's go back to the Airbnb and we'll meet up with the Topher and Tedward because they were just getting in. And all of a sudden, Charlie like abruptly pulls over, and I'm like, oh, maybe he has to vomit. Like, what's going on? And he gets out, and he just gives me the look, and I'm like, is the check engine light on? Did something blow up? I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, I have a flat tire. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is how we're gonna start off Lamborghini borrowership. Mm-hmm. But luckily, Lamborghini PR is awesome and got us into the Technica a few days later.
Gangster.
So we were still able to have our full Lamborghini experience.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, the Huracan and the Technica aren't that different.
Yeah.
I mean,
the STO and the Technica.
And they were the same color.
Yeah, it looked similar.
Yeah.
Only $100,000 difference.
Jeez, I know.
But you still get the glorious V10 motor.
Same
in the
motor.
Back, so whatever.
Same amount of power too, right? Isn't the STO just more aero stuff?
I think so. I mean, there's probably a lot more underneath that we're
that we're downplaying,
giving credit to.
We just want to feel better about
the fact that we lost out on the STO. Yeah, because they had offered us both.
You didn't. Everyone else
but
did.
I still would have had a little more time.
That's true.
But yeah, that was a glorious hour or so of just.
That car was insane.
Yeah, the ride quality in sport mode was, you were practically riding on
Corsa. You mean Corsa?
We didn't go into full Corsa because there was STO, something in the middle, and
Strada?
then Corsa. Strada Street. I think it was STO, Sport, and Corsa.
Oh, okay.
And I will check the video.
Yeah, whatever.
But either way, whatever one wasn't the base mode, it was bumpy.
Yeah,
very bumpy.
That car was awesome. Cool. I'm glad that we got to experience it.
Me too.
And
got 2 videos out of it.
The universe has a mysterious ways of making sure things go right.
You never know. Maybe we would have pulled out and just absolutely ran into
Driven
some Silverado or something like that if it hadn't happened.
Right.
So
dropped it back off at the dealer, which is where we got the car from, even though it was a press car.
Yeah.
And went back home in the GR Corolla to find 2 other cars.
Yes, 2 new cars that the Topher and Tedward had picked up at LAX
from the airport
and brought home.
The first one was the 2023 Porsche 911T in Python green with a 7-speed manual transmission. Pretty low option car besides the $6,000 911T interior package, which gives you sport seats with partial leather and partial cloth. This was a German spec car, so it didn't have a backup camera or working navigation. So we were a little bit flustered at first to be like, why is this car having so many electrical issues? But it turns out that it was just a German spec car and that we were the idiots. It was VIN number 4, like 00004.
Very low.
So super early production car. I'm sure it'll end up back in Europe at some point. So we won't have a chance to purchase it in the future.
Which is a shame because it was actually my favorite car.
I was going to say it was Charlie's favorite car. So that it was not
my favorite car, but my favorite car to drive.
Favorite car to drive. Yeah.
It was really, really good. I would really like to drive a 911 Carrera T and a base Carrera back to back and just kind of see like, does the T really matter?
Yeah. What's the price difference on the T versus the regular?
I think it's like a $10,000 to $15,000 price bump for the
T.
T.
Isn't horrible.
And all you're losing is like 15 pounds or something.
I like the sticker on the door that says Carrera T.
Yeah, it does kind of show that you actually care about driving rather than you just care about owning a 911.
And you can probably, Python Green's probably the same. I don't know. Can you get Python Green on a regular car without it being paint to sample?
Porsche
you might have to go paint to sample on a base Carrera to get Python Green.
They give you a lot of cool things. Let's see.
But yeah, that car was awesome. I mean, about as pure as you can get in 2023 from Porsche for a 911. So, there it was right at the top.
I know. I'm just hoping that I think the screen should work.
Well, if they don't, then we apologize to everyone.
I was very close. $10,500 price jump to get the T. So you want to know if you can get Python
Our car
Green
was only build a base model car. Can you get a manual in a? I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I don't think you can, Charlie.
Yes, you can.
I really don't think you can.
Well, we're gonna find out right here. Python Green is a special color.
Okay, so that's how much you pay for it on the T as well, $3,270.
Okay, and then there's paint.
$11,000 for paint to sample. Jeez. That's why you get the T, so you can get a manual.
Are you serious? You can't get a manual base Carrera anymore?
No.
That's ridiculous.
You haven't been able to literally since 992 has been a thing.
Wow. You
didn't know that?
No, I didn't. That's really sad. I mean, I guess I'm sure if I like really dug into my memory, maybe I've just blocked it out.
Yeah, that's why you get the T, so you can get a manual.
That makes more sense.
Or the S. You can get a manual Carrera S. I think
you
just can't get the base anymore. That's how they get you.
How much does the S cost? So you can spend an extra.
It's not that much
like
more.
$7,000 over a T to get an S, and that gets you 443 horse rather than 379. It's a pretty significant jump. Or you could just throw a tune on your.
Because it should be the same motor. Is it still a 3-liter?
Yeah,
in the S?
Pretty sure. Tech specs. Yep, 3-liter, 443 horse. Max engine speed 7,500, 390 pound-feet.
It might rev a little higher.
Did
the Carrera T rev to? I don't think it revved to 7,500. I think it revved a lot. Well, maybe it did.
Well, we can find out right here with the. You can tell we're very educated on these cars. Yeah, 7,500.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It was a great thing. An incredible amount of grip. I mean, so much grip.
Well, just such a great driving experience. If you've never driven a Porsche, especially driven one aggressively, the communication between the car and you and the car is just, there's no equal to that. It's so good.
4S
cab, Targa 4, Targa 4S,
Dude,
GTS. Ooh, now
there's just so
GTS.
many freaking Porsches.
Yeah, 3.2 seconds 0 to 60 with the GTS.
It's so fast.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. GTS cab, 4 GTS cab, Targa 4 GTS, 911 edition 50 years Porsche design.
Where's the turbo and everything in the GT?
That's a whole separate model. You go here, and then 911 Dakar, 911 GT3, GT3 RS, Sport Classic, Turbo. Yeah.
What on earth?
Yeah, if you go to 911 and go all models, it's quite overwhelming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 different Porsche models just on their website.
A lot of Taycans, jeez.
Yeah, there are 10 Taycans. And, a lot of Panameras.
Oh my God.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 Panameras.
There's only 4 Macans.
Look at
the Cayennes.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 Cayennes.
Porsche they want to make sure that they've got the right car for you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cool because they let you customize so many things. So let's go back to the Carrera T real quick. Throw it in the Build Your Porsche.
Would you have Python Green?
No.
Oh, give me Ruby Rose. Or Ruby.
I would be tempted with Shark Blue.
Ruby Star.
Ruby Star?
Yeah, it's to the left.
Ruby Star Neo.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There we go.
That is a pink Porsche. That's very nice. Yep.
That's like an iconic color. It's been around for a long time.
Realistically, I'd probably pick Gentian Blue because it's a heck of a lot cheaper, but Ruby Star Neo
Charlie,
is pretty sweet.
if you're spending
then I'm going to be poor and I need money for fuel.
Oh my God.
I would leave the 2021 base wheels. Although there are some
I like
cool
those wheels. What are those?
This wheel would look really cool on this car. Yeah, 5-spoke.
Yeah,
very exclusive design wheels. And don't need to paint them. See, they just give you so many different options. It's borderline overwhelming. I mean, you can color selection for your stitching.
Can we get Ruby Star?
That's Guard's red. It doesn't look like you can get Ruby Star.
No, I'd just get like gray or something then.
Yeah. And then you got all these, I mean, down to things like window triangle trims in carbon fiber and motorsport stripe decal on top in black. then you get into that's just appearance type things. And then you get your seatbelts in various
You
colors.
think maybe the reason our
Sport Chrono stopwatch in different
the reason
colors.
our Carrera T was such a low spec is because whoever was specing it got overwhelmed and they were like, just give me the good interior and that's it.
That's quite possible. Although they also probably just didn't want it to be $300,000.
That's true.
You can even get the Burmester high-end surround system in the Carrera T. Yeah, I quite liked the Carrera T. I thought it was really good for our type of driving experience. You don't have to. You can push it really, really hard, but you don't have to really enjoy driving.
I kind of was trying to think of it as like if you want the rawness of a GT3 but don't want to spend $300,000.
Yes, but that's also the GTS. That's the one to get then.
Yeah, but that's like $200,000.
Yeah, like 180 something, but you're still
Or
not
you could
spending
spend
$300,000.
$120 and still get a bright color, still get kind of that Porsche heritage, and get the Carrera T.
Yeah, you're
And a
still getting a
manual.
good driving experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really what it is if you want a base 911 and a manual, then you have to get the Carrera T.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Porsche wanted to charge you extra for the manual, but didn't want to get the bad flack for charging you extra to get the manual.
Yes.
So they just came out with
There's a whole new model.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And as you mentioned, we also got at that day what else did Trump pick up from there? Was it the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Mercedes SL. We got that on the first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, I had blocked this one out.
Yeah.
The Mercedes
The Elephant
AMG EQS.
The egg.
It's all electric. It's very powerful.
So fast.
Very heavy. Looks a bit like an egg and a computer mouse. Had a fun night together in a hotel room.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Thank you.
I think computer mouse.
Mm-hmm. And the technology is a bit overwhelming inside. The big screen that we don't love from the normal EQS. It's admittedly a car that if you lived and owned and spent more time with, you'd probably enjoy a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's just not my favorite execution of a large vehicle like that. I would take the BMW i7.
No, and we're looking forward to, allegedly, Mercedes is killing the EQS name, and the EV S-Class will just be
S-Class.
Just be an S-Class
EV
EV.
or
So
whatever, yeah.
we're hoping that with doing that and with changing the name, they'll kind of go the same direction BMW has with the 760i and the i7.
Yeah.
Because we love the S-Class, we don't love the EQS, and it was the same story with the AMG. It was very fast, but all the same sort of things that we didn't like about the EQS 580, we also didn't like about the AMG EQS.
The other thing is that product was very capable, could push it really hard, as fast and everything, but nothing about it sparked driving enjoyment.
No.
And the thing is, AMG is capable of doing that because I've spent time in the AMG GT, the four-door
Charlie's
AMG car.
a big enthusiast of that car.
It's one of my favorite cars ever because that thing drives practically like the coupe. It's amazing that they can get that performance out of a four-door car. And there's more room in the back. There's like a ton of room in the back of the AMG GT.
Big car, yeah.
And the AMG EQS, you have to not have a full-sized head to sit in the back seat. And it's just a
But
shame.
the pillows, Charlie, the pillows.
It's a shame that that car doesn't do more for the soul.
Yeah.
It's kind of a meh sort of car.
It's a downer. If you're looking to find an EV that has some soul, don't go out and drive the AMG EQS because it will crush your dreams.
Yes, good way to put it. Then we did a little trading out a few days later, and we received the Mercedes-AMG SL63.
Yes.
I had actually never driven a Mercedes SL before, but I'd always been a fan of the idea. Yeah.
I had neither, though.
Okay, fair enough.
I've been shopping for SLs for as long as I can remember, but I don't think I've ever driven one. Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird to think about.
But everything we know of the SL is
Maybe I
supposed
drove
to be
Tory. I may have driven Tories.
essentially
2009.
sporty luxury, if you will, SL. I mean, it really is supposed to be, yeah, you can go fast, but you don't have to. And that's how this car was. It was very capable of being flogged, but the big, torquey 4-liter V8 was a little bit more subdued than it is in the other AMG cars, but still very powerful. And you put quite a few miles on it.
I was going to say,
top down nearly all the time.
It's telling that out of all the cars that we had in the driveway, when I was having to go out and drive into town, the car I picked every time was the SL63 because it was just so comfortable. You could put the roof down. The sound system was excellent. The ambient lighting was excellent. There was really nothing about that car that I didn't like. Oh, except the door handles.
Yeah,
I didn't like the door
with
handles.
these new Mercedes door handles.
And
They have
all
to come
have it.
out at you, and they're
But
not.
then they retract and you can't get them back out.
Yeah, you have to sort of like unlock
to,
the
like-
car or something, or reach in, or use the key. And one time, it was either you or
was me.
Tedward was trying to open it, and
was
it just
me.
wasn't opening. The handle was out.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that might have been Tedward then.
Yeah, and then Tedward also had a situation where he tried to use the front end lift that's in the infotainment screen, and he pressed the button to do it, and it's just blank. Nothing was happening. We're standing there like it's supposed to be right here.
We were up in the hills. I was driving the 911T. You were in the SL. We swapped. You left the keys in the SL with the roof down, but the windows were up. The car, even though the key was in it, retracted its door handles, and since the key was in it, they wouldn't come back out. So I'm standing there. You were watching me. I think you were laughing at me because I was like getting ready to shoot the winding road drive, and I'm like hitting the door handle, like, come on, please. And after a couple minutes, it finally popped out. I don't know what I did that made it pop out, but
Yeah.
I was literally there hitting the door handle for like 2 minutes.
Definitely similar to the EQS. It was an experience that once we spent more time with the car, got a little bit more acclimated with the infotainment and just the technology in general, it grew on us a bit.
Yeah, and also I made sense of the two little knobs on the steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't understand how... Well, the one on the right is just drive modes. That's very straightforward. But the one on the left, it's a knob with two buttons, and you can toggle through
different functions of the car.
Which was great for me because I am a paddle shifting enthusiast, and you have to lock that SL into manual mode, and you can't do that with the shifter. You have to do it either in the infotainment or...
This is not new for Mercedes. You've always had to lock it into manual mode. But yeah, and it's not, there's nothing in the center console like other Mercedes.
You have to do it on either on the steering wheel or in the infotainment. So if you watch the Winding Road Day Drive, you'll see me getting very frustrated with the car. It kept shifting for me, and I literally figured out at the end of the video, I was like, oh, you got to lock it into manual, but whatever.
Yeah.
Great car.
Yeah.
I had such a good time, and I think it sounded awesome.
It also cost over $200,000.
Yeah, it was quite expensive. But SLs have always
been
like 200 grand adjusted for inflation.
Another thing this car had, which was interesting, is the infotainment screen, which is again very large and also very square.
Yeah.
It could actually change its angle. It could kind of go into the dash or come nearly upright at you. And I thought that was silly until...
Oh, I didn't know you actually found use of it.
When you have the top down and the sun is shining, if the screen is more flat, you can't really see it because of the glare of the sun. But if you tilt it up, it removes the glare.
I never noticed that, but that's great. I'm glad you found use for it, so we don't have to make fun of it.
And there's even a setting in there that says when you open the top,
it'll automatically
do it. Yep.
Yeah.
So
that was a good car.
I do feel for Mercedes sometimes and other car brands as well, but mostly Mercedes, because they're doing all this crazy stuff with technology, and then these journalists spend maybe a week with the car. If they're a good journalist, they drive that car a lot in the week, but if they're not, they drive it for 50 minutes.
Sure.
And then shoot or write a review.
Right.
And they haven't gotten acclimated with the car properly. They haven't used it as an owner. Yeah. And we're not totally innocent of that as well. There are definitely times when we get in a car and we express frustration. But if you're shopping for a car like that, just know that you might need to give it some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And I said that almost exactly at the end of our EQS review. It's like, look, we only spend a limited amount of time with these cars, and it can be very overwhelming with all of this tech. And Mercedes is the biggest offender, not really offender, but they're the biggest culprit of this, is that they put so much tech and so many things that you can personalize in the cars that we don't really get to experience all of it. And usually by the end of the week, we go, okay, this is okay, but it's very overwhelming at first. And I definitely found that with the SL and with the AMG EQS, which I kind of regret shooting my winding road drive on the SL after literally having driven it for 20 minutes, but whatever. All the viewers will still
Canyon Blast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can get one here. Is there going to be a SL, you think, in Detroit?
Yeah.
But great car. It was.
I don't want to pivot yet from the conversation. So what we were just having, because I had a similar conversation with Mazda PR when we were at their event later on this week about how we appreciate how often we get into Mazda vehicles because it builds a familiarity with them. Because Mazda is really good with their PR team, and it helps that their fleet is so small, if not many models of cars, but we drive pretty much all of their cars every year. And the PR person pointed out that upon first use, their infotainment can be kind of confusing and overwhelming because journalists who's like always just want to get in and touch the screen and stuff.
Knob, yeah.
But the Mazdas are rotary knob only.
It's because no journalists have ever owned an E93 series and they don't know how to use a knob.
Yes, exactly. But by getting a lot of time in these Mazdas, we come to know how they work and get familiar with them. And that way, when we get in a new Mazda that has the same system, it doesn't matter that the car is new, just get right in it. So all of that is to say is Mercedes. Long-termer?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, for long-term
Could you
Mercedes,
imagine
we'll
a
get very familiar with it.
Long-term SL, oh my God. I would never stop driving. Mercedes would be like, why is there 50,000 miles on this car after a year? Oh, Chris was taking it to Chicago and back every weekend. God, I need an SL in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here first, kids. Anyway, did you want to recap on the SL?
No, I just love it.
Yeah.
And it was yellow.
Yeah, it was yellow, but it shouldn't have been.
Yes, it should have been. For us.
No, I disagree. The SL is a pretty car. It's a classy car, and it shouldn't have a look at me yellow on it.
Charlie, but we only drove it for a week.
I know, but it shouldn't have been yellow. It should have been blue or silver.
If we were to own one, obviously we'd want it to be blue.
SL just shouldn't be in yellow.
Okay, I liked the yellow. I thought it was cool. Also, I got multiple compliments driving that car. None of the other cars we drove this week, and you'll hear about the other ones in a second, but I got so many compliments in this SL. Like, you just driving around with the roof down is probably, people were... I was easily accessible for them to be like, nice car. But
you would have gotten more compliments if it weren't yellow.
Nope, disagree. People like yellow cars. I don't particularly like yellow cars, but I liked that the short-term SL was yellow.
Also, the yellow wasn't strong enough because we
like
parked it next to our other... No, it actually isn't.
Oh, no, it isn't this.
Because we did park it next to that car.
This is racing yellow.
And that was a better yellow.
Yeah, this is racing yellow.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of the car that Chris has in his hand...
GT4 RS, baby.
We had a similar spec car. We had the Porsche GT4 RS after the 911 went away. Maybe we should be ending with this car.
I was going to say, I'm going to get a little too excited if you bring that up already.
But we got in.
But we're getting to it, though, aren't we?
Yeah, we are going right in.
SL and 911T gone. And, yeah, GT4 RS was right there.
It was in there, yeah. What an engine. Truly remarkable.
4 liters of Fury. 9,000 RPM of Fury. 493 horsepower. PDK. Carbon seats.
It's a great example of a car that I literally do not care about the numbers because all I care about is hearing that car scream.
The only number I care about is 9,000.
Yep. Yeah, that 9,000 RPM red line because it's so loud. There's such little sound deadening behind you in this mid-engine car that once you hit about 7,000 RPM, you're like, whoa, I'm really going. And then it's like, just kidding, you got 2,000 more RPM.
Yeah, I kept short shifting it because I'm like, used to shifting Porsches at 7,000, and then you're just...
The car will short shift itself, too. If you're driving in normal, like PDK, just do it itself mode, it'll short shift unless you're really ringing it.
Yeah.
But not only is the engine spectacular, but the driving experience so telepathic. I mean, take everything from that 911 and sharpen it. And just every turn, every shift, every brake experience, it's just...
I have a hot take, Charlie.
Okay.
I prefer Caymans over 911s.
I know. Yeah, that's okay.
It's not just because I own a Cayman. I like driving Caymans more than I like driving 911s.
Well, sorry, Porsche, and Porsche knows this. I just want to admit it. The mid-engine car is the better layout.
So you also prefer Caymans to 911s?
I don't know. Are we talking holistically as a vehicle? No, I'd rather have a 911.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just more unique. But Caymans are more practical. Except for the rear seat situation. And you know me, I am a 4-seat enthusiast.
You can't really use a back seat. I guess for a child you could.
A child, or if you just wanted to sit
across
there,
it or something.
Sit across, or you could move the passenger seat way forward and you could just hovel in, especially a cab, 911 cab.
Because the headroom's
not an issue.
And you are
convertible.
Chair's a little squeaky today.
Yeah, it is.
You are an enthusiast of vehicles with no roof.
Yes. But... the GT4 RS is probably if they put the same amount of power in a GT4 RS and a GT3 RS, the GT4 RS would probably be the faster car.
That might be my perfect car. You know how the Topher always talks about we're on this journey to find the perfect car? I feel like I already found it with the GT4 RS.
They took the front end suspension geometry out of, I want to say, the 991.2 GT3 RS and put it in the GT4 RS.
Gotcha.
That's one of the reasons it makes it so good.
I liked the Alcantara steering wheel because it soaked up the sweat.
Yeah.
or Race Tex. Sorry.
I can't wait to edit my
Porshce.
videos on that car.
I know. I need to. I haven't even opened my laptop because yesterday, admittedly, I sat around and did nothing.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, you also slept for 13 hours.
I did. Okay. Well, I didn't sleep for like 4 days. Like I slept for like a few hours at a time, but I was just going and going and going. And by the time we got home yesterday or 2 days ago, I was just like, put me down.
Yeah.
So I slept for 13 hours. I slept from 10. What would 13 hours have been? I slept from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Wow, that's remarkable. What time did you go to bed last night?
Late.
That's why you had trouble getting in here by noon.
Yeah. I also had to rely on Emily to drive me because she picked me up from the airport, and then I didn't have a car at her house. So then she had to drive me here today to pick up whatever.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to later. Cars we're driving this week, but
right. So, all right, we got through GT4 RS, awesome car, one of the best ever.
It's the best
no
thing.
big surprise. I'd still rather have a 911 GT3,
do you know
but
what my perfect garage would be?
Let me guess. Are we just three
new cars? No, two brand new cars.
Just two.
Yeah.
Oh, two brand new cars.
2-car garage. Both of them are brand new.
So it can't be an LFA.
And no. Well, I mean, obviously LFA is ideal, but okay. Picture this, okay? I live in Southern California, and I've got a 2-car solution.
All right. Well, one of them's the GT4 RS.
Right. Okay. So you're 50% right.
GR Corolla?
No.
Yeah.
LC500 convertible.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yep. Because LC is super comfortable. It does have a back seat, and you could take the roof off.
Yeah.
And then when you want to just go drive like
and you would always just have the roof down.
Yeah.
There'd be
it would park in the garage with the roof down.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. And a GT4 RS, and you'd be in for like $300,000 for both cars.
I was gonna say the crazy thing.
Well, actually, it'd probably be $400,000 because the cheapest GT4 RS right now is like $290,000.
Let's just go off MSRP though.
Okay.
Yeah, MSRP or $300,000 garage. Yeah. And the crazy thing is you could have that, or you could just have a 911 GT3 RS.
I'd have the 4RS and an LC.
And then an LC convertible. Yeah,
those are like my two favorite new cars right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. We also had a Maserati MC20.
Yes.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is Maserati's first supercar in a long time.
Which I was unfamiliar until it showed up in the driveway. What's going on? You good?
I just got a text message from someone. But I was wondering if it was the Nav's car, but it isn't.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was unfamiliar with the MC20. Actually, well, when you told us we were getting an MC20, I researched it a little bit, and I was like, "Holy crap, this thing's gonna be awesome!" And our particular car, base price is $212. Ours was $315, so $103,000 in options. 25,000 of which was the matte white, the blue pearlescent paint. I don't know what the actual color is called, but
Bianca something or Bianco.
That just means white in Italian.
But pretty much a lot of Italian things on that car.
Obviously, insane, dude. So sketchy.
That color was remarkable because it looked like an eggshell when it wasn't in the direct sunlight, but you shine direct light on it, and all of a sudden this bright whitish, bluish, like almost xenon color pops out. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, that car was almost old school. I've never driven an old school supercar, but we're out there with Tedward, and he's the CEO of driving old supercars, and he was like, yeah, I mean, this thing feels old school. Like, it feels like it's from the 90s. And the way that it delivered its power with all just so much turbo noise behind your ears and a little bit of turbo lag, and when it kicks in, it was another
huge amount of boost. It was 621 horse and some 600 something pound.
It's another car that I was short shifting because it's Maserati's own V6, right?
Yep, it's a brand new motor.
Revs to like 8,000 RPM or something insane. You never expect a V6 to rev that high.
Yeah.
So I was shifting it at like 6,500. If you watch the review, you'll see Charlie making fun of me for shifting it early.
But you almost don't need to rev it out because there's so much
really
torque and power down low, and it whooshes you in just such a unique way. I wouldn't say it's the most thrilling powertrain because it doesn't make much noise.
It doesn't make any noise. Well, the turbos do, but
the turbos make a lot of noise. You can have some fun whooshy noises.
Your exhaust noise is all sucked up by the turbos. Oh yeah, and cool little flutters
every now and again. But rear wheel drive, and if you didn't have hands on the wheel and good driving
third gear, it would rip the rear end from you.
I looked back at one point just driving around the city, and Chris got going, and it squirreled. It really did. And I was like, oh, man. It was cool in that...
God bless the traction control system in that car.
Yeah. It was cool in that there are so many new cars that literally anyone can drive. Like, yeah, they're amazingly impressive when driven by a professional driver.
Yeah.
But you could have your mother to just get in the seat and mat the throttle, and all the electronic nannies are going to take care of her, and it's going to be fine. This car didn't feel like that. I bet you once you really got out of sorts, the car would figure out how to save you.
Yeah.
But it didn't inspire that level of confidence.
It was sketchy.
The brake pedal, you'd push in a quarter, a half even, and nothing would really happen.
Nothing.
You had to bury your foot in, and then you got this like, okay, I guess I'll slow down sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a good example of how Chris and I have talked in some of our reviews that worse is better in some ways,
That car was
because it
awesome.
added character to it.
I really, really liked that car.
And not only that, but it was fairly comfortable just to drive around.
It was. It gave the most supercar experience out of all of the vehicles.
Did help that I had butterfly doors.
And it had butterfly doors, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, these fixed carbon bucket seats, these butterfly doors, also a particularly good infotainment system with a great... are you getting a phone call?
No, but my friend with the CX-5 just got her car back.
Oh, good for her.
But
her motor has been mended.
Her motor's been mended, yeah.
Yeah, now she's going to trade it in on a new one so that she can get a heated steering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways.
It has a remarkably good infotainment system and a very good sound system made by Sonus Faber.
Sonus Faber?
Yeah. Yep. First time they've put a sound system in a car, and it's
what
pretty
do they
good.
do otherwise? Are they owned by Harman?
I don't believe so. And I also...
Good for them.
Yeah, they probably just do like high-end sound systems,
Gotcha.
home theater and things like that. But the second car that they're fitting a sound system into is the Maserati Grecale, or however you pronounce that.
Oh, okay. So they've
The
got a
Dodge Hornet.
contract with Maserati.
Yeah. Yep.
Tedward's driven that. And I didn't realize that the Grecale is like the size of the Levante. So it's replaced.
Oh, is
it
it?
replacing the Levante?
I thought it's smaller. Oh, maybe not actually.
I saw one in person in LA and it looked big. I thought it was like going to be the size of that stupid Alfa Romeo thing, but it's bigger. It looks big. To me, it looked bigger. It looked like, I don't know, like the size of my ML maybe. Yeah.
Let's do some
I
investigative
could be
journalism.
wrong though. I mean, you know how the SUV market is now. It could be like half an inch shorter and they're making an excuse. It's like Jeep selling the Compass and the Cherokee and, whatever else they have.
Cal versus
They still make the Levante, right?
Levante. Let's see. Ooh, the Grecale looks pretty cool. So 2-liter turbo inline 4.
Well, they say
compared to a
22
3-liter.
Levante. So do they not make the Levante anymore? Oh yeah, dimensions. Yeah, just do that.
The Grecale is 4 inches shorter in wheelbase. The overall length is 6 inches shorter.
Okay, so it is quite a bit
it's
shorter.
quite a bit smaller.
But it's
car.
not like significantly smaller.
I mean, it's not amazing, but look at the weight. I mean, there's an 800-pound weight difference.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant. Yeah.
This
is probably...
I thought it was going to be like smaller.
Well.
Does the Levante compete with the Cayenne?
Yeah.
Really? It's that big? Okay, so this is more like Macan sized. Okay.
Poor person's Levante, but not really.
I think it looks interesting.
Yeah. I think it looks cool. It's hard to stand out in that market these days, so good for them.
I think it's like a 4-cylinder turbo also.
Yeah, it is. 2-liter. Yep.
Of course, like everything else.
Mm-hmm. So I could see the MC20, if you're a wealthy individual and you want to stand out
us.
and look cool and make a statement with your supercar and everything, get the MC20 over something like a Lamborghini because you're going to look different. And also, it doesn't have to, it's not all like aggressive, aggro, mean, I'm going to kill you, look at me styling. Much softer lines, more rounded edges. It's a very different experience, and it'll be cool. And then it's going to depreciate a ton, and you can buy them
We
for
should
about
have one in a few years, Charlie.
Buy one for about $100,000, and then it'll appreciate back up. Yeah.
So we'll have to buy one in like
2029.
29.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, if we don't do that, come and tell us we should. That we forgot to.
Okay.
I was going to say
something about murder or death or dismemberment.
Okay. Anyways.
Cancel.
Which is what the MC20 will end up doing to us anyways. So
fair enough. Yeah. Well, and if it doesn't do that, we won't be able to drive it because it'll be broken and we won't be able to afford to fix it.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe we can buy some sort of extended warranty from Maserati.
Or CarMax.
Oh my God. We bought a Maserati MC20 from CarMax with a bumper-to-bumper warranty.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Are we missing any of the rentals?
Yes, Rivian R1T.
Oh, yeah, the Rivian.
I literally drove it for like 10 minutes, so I have nothing to say about it.
It's cool. I liked the Rivian quite a bit. Really looking forward to spending more time with it, but I'd be damned if I weren't on the Rivian build configurator being like, oh, could I afford one of these? And it's actually less about being able to afford one, which I cannot, but also that even if I were to order one now, I wouldn't get it until 2024. They say late 2023, but let's be honest.
For Rivian?
Yeah.
I'm checking the spreadsheet to make sure we didn't forget any cars.
Okay. Yeah, the Rivian was also yellow. Tons of cool features.
We got a lot of yellow cars. We
Yeah,
had
we did.
three yellow cars.
Between the sort of mid-gate that you can open up and put things into, storage area, the frunk, the car, the bed itself, the interior felt more... It felt like a nice balance in between a Tesla type experience and a conventional car type experience.
It did feel quite a bit like a Tesla.
Right, because you still had the big old center screen that was very Tesla-y, no Apple CarPlay, etc. But then you still had a gauge cluster that was quite functional. But you have a column shifter like a Tesla, and also like my F-250. Just saying.
Thank you.
But there was a lot to like about the Rivian, and the Topher went and did some off-roading with it, said it was remarkably capable. With the air suspension, it has... Man, I'm getting a lot of hungry burps. A lot of air built up in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, ground clearance 13.5 inches.
I'm proud of you for knowing that. Chris would be very, very proud.
Yes.
I believe you have a couple vehicles to talk about, actually, that I did not drive or none of us
All right, I guess we're done with the Rivian then. Rivian R1T, very cool. Look forward to driving one soon, and I think it looks neat.
Charlie
and also
covered everything I would have
It chirps at you when you lock it.
Yeah, like a bird.
Yeah. Very naturey.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, I drove 5 Honda Mini Motos. We have one of them there in the back of...
What's this one?
Peggy. That is the Honda Super Cub.
Did you drive this?
Yes.
Ah.
It was my least favorite.
Oh, well, we'll put it back in Peggy.
That one's interesting because it has a clutchless manual transmission.
Okay.
So you can shift, you have to shift, but there's no clutch. You just simply press the kicker thing. But it's silly because if you still have to shift anyway, you might as well use the clutch. Using a clutch is not a difficult part of driving a manual necessarily.
Yeah, just setting off for some people.
Yeah. Yeah, I did realize that like,
Just
okay, yes,
setting
it would
off,
be a
yeah.
little easier to get going without the clutch, and you can come to a stop. You don't have to worry about pulling it in, but you still have to be thinking like as you're navigating traffic, you're like, oh, I'm at the top of my rev range. I gotta click.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird experience. But I'm like, we might as well just put a full automatic in it.
Right.
The Trail 125 was the same as the Super Cub, but made for off-road. That I actually liked quite a bit, even though its top speed was only about 50, so pretty slow. Then the Honda Monkey was the most interesting to me because I had always thought that I wanted to own a Monkey. The Monkey and the Grom are very similar, same 5-speed manual transmission, same single-cylinder 125cc motor, and same general chassis.
Yeah.
But the Monkey is more classic motorcycle looking, whereas the Grom is more like weird, kind of like alien-y looking. And the Monkey is awesome. I mean, it looks so cute and cool, and the materials are super premium.
The handlebars a little higher on the Monkey?
A little bit. They kind of come out a little more
Yeah.
at you rather than a little bit more just like straight. And the seat is big and comfortable, and they have a new plaid version for 2023. It's really really cute.
Like a 70s style thing?
Kinda, yeah. Let me bring it up here for you real fast. But it was not as engaging of an experience as I expected. It's got a little bit knobbier tires, so if you wanted to do a little bit more of like kind of off-roading, like exploring, you could, in theory. But here, let me show the viewers now.
Aw.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Plaid
it looks
seat.
vintage.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole rub of the Monkey, is it's supposed to be like very like
Classic
vintage bike.
still,
Yep.
yeah.
And chrome everywhere and stuff. I mean,
Nice
really,
Volkswagen in the back.
yeah, there's a lot of cool things at this garage. But that was, and the seat's much more comfortable than the Groms.
Oh.
Oh yeah, there's some cool things. All
Oh.
this Honda museum
I
that
should have gone with you to that.
I know. If I had known it was going to be this cool, you guys all could have come
Oh my
and check
God.
out everything.
That's so sick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of pristine. These were all bikes up here
Some
and down
concept
here.
cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some really weird stuff. I mean, this is kind of like where Honda just goes to throw things when they kind of don't need them anymore. Where are we here?
Probably $1 million S2000 right there.
Yeah, seriously, that's the CR. But
Cool, that's all of them, huh?
yeah, you can see right here if any of you are
That's
watching.
the Grom, right? The
Yep,
silver
the
one?
Grom is more The Grom is like a shrunken, like new bike, and the Monkey is like a shrunken older bike.
What is that red thing? Looks like a scooter.
This is a Trail 125, so it's the Super Cub. But
That
with
other one looks even more like a scooter.
This is the Honda Navi, and it almost is a moped, but in the form of a
automatic?
motorcycle. Yep, it's the CVT. Yep, so that one drove very, very different.
But your favorite was still the
Grom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to like the Monkey more, but the Monkey is only a 1-seater, whereas the Grom is a 2. And the Grom, because of its tires and its suspension tuning and kind of weight, it's more sporty. The Monkey feels a little bit more relaxed.
Gotcha.
And I like to drive sporty.
Was the Monkey your second favorite though?
Yes. It went Grom, Monkey, Navi. No, sorry. Grom, Monkey, Trail 125, Navi, Super Cub. The Navi's cool because this bike right here, the Grom, costs $3,400.
Okay.
The Navi costs $1,900.
Oh.
So for about $2,000, you can get yourself a motorcycle.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the Super Cub the thing that everyone drives in Japan?
Yes, if I'm not
China
mistaken.
Or Vietnam, like there's like a bazillion of them. It's like the most produced vehicle.
I was going to say, if I'm
ever.
not mistaken, the Honda Super Cub is the best-selling motor vehicle of all time.
Yeah, they've made like 1 billion of them or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really remarkable. So that was a lot of fun. Not only did I ride all of them, shot videos on 4, but then I shot one video doing all of them. So I had them all right in front, and I said like pretty much, here are all the Honda mini motos. Why would you get either one of them? And then I just did like little 2-minute long loops around the building on each one.
That's cool. I'm excited to watch that.
I'm excited too.
I am going to watch that because I don't know anything about motorcycles. So.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then, after all of that and a lot of gallivanting around Los Angeles, Chris and I went to see the new Mazda CX-90.
Yeah.
And I'm strategically not releasing this podcast until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning so that we can talk about it.
We can talk about the CX-90. Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Featuring an all-new paint color, Artisan Red, which Chris and I like to refer to as teenage goth phase Soul Red Crystal.
Yeah.
Or Soul Crystal Red.
Goth. Let me say it in Gen Z speak. Soul Red in its goth era.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is kind of making the CX-9 irrelevant. So it's almost kind of like if the CX-9 were a long-term employee at a firm and they had been there for many years, they're in their pension days, they're kind of retiring, but they're not ready to leave yet. And all of a sudden, Mazda seems to have hired a new guy.
Yeah.
Same position, but they say, "Oh no, we're not letting you go or anything." But Jim here is gonna come and he's just gonna be learning under you and kind of just helping out.
Yeah.
And if the Mazda CX-9 doesn't read the writing on the wall, then it's kind of their fault at this point.
Yeah.
Because the CX-9D is also a 3-row.
Yeah.
It's a very functional
Beautiful
3-row.
interior.
Beautiful interior.
New materials.
Nice materials around. Same infotainment, same Bose sound system, but 2 new powertrain options, one of which 2.5 liter inline 4 turbocharged motor with a plug-in hybrid.
21 miles of electric range, which is not official.
I think it's not official, and I think it will be more than
Tuesday,
that because it's got a 17-ish kilowatt hour battery. So even if it gets 2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is fairly typical for a plug-in hybrid of that size,
to get 34.
right, then it would get up near 34. So I bet you in the real world you're going to see high 20s in plug-in hybrid range.
Cool.
But you can also get a 3.3 liter turbocharged inline 6.
48 volt mild hybrid.
Yeah, that's going to be such a great engine.
No more 6-speed automatic. We now get an 8-speed.
Yeah, Mazda's
So
first
I'm curious to
8-speed
see.
auto.
Mazda is going from like 2012 to 2023 with
Yeah.
this new CX-90, so it should be pretty exciting. I think it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
We're a little bit iffy on the front styling because it's very flat and
the headlights are more roundish rather
Yeah.
than this sort of elongated cat-like look
Yeah.
of previous Mazda. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but overall,
the best
it's
thing
excellent.
about the CX-90 is that it is a rear-wheel drive biased platform, so it's able to have kind of that long, low look. It's got a longer front end.
sleek.
It's sleek, yeah. So excited for you all to see it. And honestly, you all have probably already seen it because it's already been shown in Japan and it looks pretty much the same. So
Also, this podcast is over an hour long, and unless you skipped directly to the end for some reason,
you won't have...
then
yeah.
the embargo will have already dropped for the CX-90, so you'd probably have another tab or some notification on your phone being
That
like,
showed it.
wow, new Mazda. There's going to be a bunch of YouTubers with like, is this the best new car in existence?
Yeah,
like,
clickbait.
inline 6, whoa, bonk, bonk, bonk. Like,
I can think of one person who will be doing that.
yeah. Yeah,
but we're not that way, so you're welcome for that.
Our CX-90 video actually starts remarkably calm because you and I are just talking very, very gently as we were waiting to see the car.
Tedward just texted me. He said, "How'd your CX-90 filming go?" So I'm excited to write back to him in a minute.
Yeah.
But
the video turned out pretty cool though.
Did it? Okay, cool. Yeah, so looking forward to you all seeing that. And
after you finish the podcast here, click off.
Yeah, go watch it. We are looking forward to driving it because we talked about it on our way out of. There's nothing about this car really on the surface that should be bad. Like, it looks great. Everything on the interior, like it's got a power adjust steering column for Charlie. It's got a volume knob. For me. It's got lots of good features inside. Lots of nice materials. So we're thinking, and very specifically, unless the steering is too heavy, it's gonna be a very good car. Or if the ride's too harsh,
or if they charge over $60,000.
Yes,
which they won't.
But we've got high hopes for the CX-90, and we think it's going to be a really, really nice machine. So
yeah.
And
then Chris and I bathed in the I bathed in the sun some. You sat in your room.
I needed alone time. I was very much like
I had alone time with the sun, but we ate some great food.
So I ordered $100 worth of room service on accident.
Then we went to a birthday party of was it Andrew 23?
Oh my god. You're the most millennial person in the entire world.
Was that not his name?
Alexander 23.
Oh, Alexander 23.
To be fair, though, I didn't necessarily know. I had heard.
At least I got the number right. I wasn't like right. Andrew 29.
I had heard the name, and I've been meaning to like see if I know the music. I haven't tried listening to the music, but yeah, we went out to his birthday in West Hollywood. So Alexander, I'm sure he's watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for having
great party. Us. Yeah, kudos.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't really see Charlie the whole night. Charlie was off talking to NPCs. Who was that guy you were talking to?
He was an Equinox driver. What can I say?
What was his name?
I don't know.
What did you guys talk about?
Podcasts.
Actually?
And Philadelphia, where he's from.
What was he doing there?
He lives there now.
Yeah, but why was he there? Was he somebody's plus one?
He
did he know the guy?
Plays basketball with Alexander 23.
Oh. Okay then.
Yeah, like pick up basketball, like type of thing. He's a big baller.
Well,
yeah.
I saw some old friends from LA, and obviously we were hanging out with my cousin and everything, and it was fun. It was a fun night.
Also, we learned that in terms of high-end Sunset Strip hotels, the Sunset Tower is above the Chateau Marmont.
Yeah, in some ways, I had never been to the Chateau before, and actually going into the Chateau, it was a little eerie. It was very much like haunted 50s hotel. Like you go into the hotel room and it has like a rounded fridge from the 50s, like legitimate, like not a fake, not a replica, like a legitimate fridge that's been there from the 50s. All of the decor and everything is the same way. It literally feels like you're stepping into the 50s, which is cool. Like it's a cool, unique vibe, and I think that they keep it that way because it's so. Like the Chateau is so legendary, and they don't want to update it because they're scared they're going to lose their clientele. There are also a lot of people that live there. There's a lot of residency at the Chateau. So I get it, but it's a little like I was in there and it's a weird vibe in there. It's like it's totally haunted. It's got to be haunted.
Alyssa said, I want to say John Belushi died there.
Who?
John Belushi? Christopher.
You're allowed to make fun of me. I've been making fun of you. Let me Google him. Is he an actor?
Yes. I'm not going to explain it. I hope that you recognize. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt to recognize.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, from Blues Brothers.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. I think she said that he died at the Chateau.
1982, Chateau Marmont.
Nice job, Liz. Yeah. So you're right. I'm sure many people
he's
died there.
Cool. So I probably met him the other day.
Yeah, I met his ghost.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Great trip.
Where else were we? Sunset
I thought it was Sunset
Plaza?
Tower. Sunset.
I don't know. Cool
Either
view
way.
from there. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a cool one. But also not the craziest hotel room. I mean, it was a big room.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
It wasn't that impressive.
No.
As a penthouse.
No. But the view and the balcony
really cool.
was awesome, and the view was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a great time.
Forgot to talk about PEC, Charlie.
Oh yes, the Porsche experience. You have to excuse me. I'm getting hungry, and I know Chris has a lot of CoPart cars for us to get through.
Oh crap! I actually do.
Maybe we'll save it for next week.
No, because they're all going to be gone.
Okay, all right.
I've been doing extensive CoPart. How long have we been going for?
I don't know because we stepped out for 20 minutes to look at the lifts, but it's been over an hour. It's okay. People, there's a lot to talk about.
The OGs will still be here.
Porsche Experience Center LA, or what they don't want us to call it, PECLA.
Yeah, they specifically told us not to call it that, and Charlie just.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. It is a place you can go in the greater Los Angeles area to go drive Porsches in very intense conditions, whether it is on a driving course at higher speeds or launch controlling one, or in a low friction surface area, skidding out and recovering, or on an off-road course. We drove a Cayenne, a Turbo Taycan, and a 911 Turbo S. They were fast, they were capable, and we had a lot of fun. And we highly recommend for either a birthday, other life experience, or just to learn how to use a car better to check out Porsche Experience Center LA if you're in the area, or perhaps Porsche Experience Center in Atlanta.
Great. All right.
Thank you,
got
Porsche.
some CoPart cars. And I've got one that actually isn't a car that I've saved specifically for you.
Oh,
because every time I see one of these, I just think of you because I didn't even know what it was until you told me what it was.
Let me get in here.
Are you logged in?
No, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, you might want to click buy it now on this is the only reason I'm...
Well, I've removed my deposit from CoPart.
You won't need a deposit for this one.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
688-998-52.
Is it going to be a snowmobile?
No.
Oh, it's a Suzuki, probably a Bergman.
It is.
But it's a Bergman 400.
I don't know what that
Poverty
means.
spec.
Poverty?
It is kind of cool,
It looks
though.
fine.
It honestly does look in pretty good shape.
It's got a clean title. It's
Clean
$800.
It doesn't run and drive, though, so that is the thing.
That is because... Oh, nope, it does have keys. I was going to say maybe it doesn't have keys, but it does.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody dropped it in a lake.
Buy it now for $800 is not bad.
Yeah, it says retail value is $4,000.
That's probably about right if you could get it fixed up, cleaned up nicely. Yeah, all things considered. And it's in Detroit?
Yep.
If it weren't for the CoPart, it's in Flint.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I could get it shipped here for $100.
No, I just go put it in the back of my F-250.
Oh, true.
Yeah. That is cool. We'll have to keep an eye on it. You should keep
it's on
watching
my watch list, don't worry.
Yeah, let me know because
got another interesting one in Flint for you, Charlie. Very obscure.
Okay.
It is a car this time, though.
Is it going to be a LeSabre?
No. 694-543-72.
This is a 2008 Suzuki SX4. You've been on a Suzuki kick.
I have. Oh, wait, was the last thing a Suzuki also?
Yeah, Suzuki Bergman.
Okay. This runs and drives. It's a manual, and it's buy it now for $575. So I think we should get it and make it a race car.
This would be a great race car. Yeah,
it's a cool looking little car.
And probably
it's like
pretty
not even
reliable
that
being a
damaged.
Suzuki. Yeah,
it's fairly damaged, but
no, you'd be fine. You think you can open the driver door?
Yeah, I think so. Unless the handle's
I was
busted
gonna say
off.
the handle's pretty well hit, but you could always climb in from the passenger.
The only
side.
thing the reason I haven't been super excited about buying this is because I feel like it'd be hard to find parts because I don't think that they really made very many of these.
Yeah, you're right.
They probably only made like a couple thousand of them.
Ooh, no, I bet they made more than that. Let's see. Since we're going into this, good car, bad car, Suzuki SX4.
I'm gonna say they made 8,000.
I'm gonna say they made before we look. Like total in the U.S. sold?
Yeah.
30. I'm gonna say
30,000.
30,000. You're saying
8,000.
Look at that.
You right on the money?
No, we're way under.
We're both under?
Yeah, in 2002 they sold 18,000, 2003
Jeez.
19, 2004 9, then 8, 12. They sold it all the way up to 2012 where they were still selling 13,000 models.
They made a lot of those.
Yeah.
Where did they all go?
Well, don't forget they made this Hatchie one too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I don't know where they all went.
Scrapyard?
Yeah, presumably. No, they're probably all still running because Suzuki was just a little hardy.
Okay, so Charlie and I are going to be purchasing this car.
Yeah, shoot, $575. That means you can make it out there for $1,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me do the calculation real quick.
Yeah, it's still probably about only 1,500 miles. Have you looked at the
154,000?
Yeah, sorry, 151,000. Have you looked at the auto check?
Nope.
Okay, let me sign in here real quick. Hopefully CoPart's not too angry that I haven't renewed my membership.
No, you'll still be able to look at things.
Okay.
I have mine set to auto renew, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I'm broke, so.
So am I. Guarantee I'm more broke than you are.
I don't know. You're taking
Let's see, sales tax.
33% of revenue this month.
Okay, so that means you get 66%?
Yeah.
67%?
Yeah.
All right. We'd be
Severe accident
Charlie, we'd be out the door for $941.
That's pretty good. We could go up and
Let's have it. You want to split it?
trailer's free now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we wouldn't. Well, we'd need a ramp to get it off. We wouldn't need a ramp to get it on the trailer. So it could just live on the trailer until someone puts a new ramp.
It had severe structural damage in 2015.
Oh God, does it have a clean title? So it's been in 2 accidents then.
Yeah, at least. Well, it's been in a collision in 2016 and 2017, and then 2022.
So whoever drove this just sucked at driving.
Oh, it was in Oregon as a new car.
Oh, it's probably fairly rust free then.
Yeah, and then it went straight to owner 2, Utah.
None of the airbags are blown.
It didn't go to Michigan until 2010. Also, it wasn't Oregon. It was definitely Utah. Someone watching is going to be like, wow, Charlie, you're really stupid.
Also, if it's been here since 2010, it's definitely rusty.
And then it went back to Utah in 2011. And
so then, it was just like a traveling Mormon that kept crashing into things on his way back from Michigan to Utah?
Yeah, plausible. Auction announced as frame damage in 2015. And then it was back on the road, 82,000 miles.
So we should agree this car should never be on the road again. So we should just make it into a race car.
There we go. Rear impact with another vehicle. Probably not many. 2016, 2017. Yeah, someone was still driving the heck out of it, though. River Rouge.
Oh, gosh. Charlie, 143 horsepower. That's pretty decent.
That's potent.
Because it probably doesn't weigh very much.
Yeah, probably doesn't.
0 to 60, 8.1 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Is it a manual?
Yes.
Good. Ooh, left front. Oh, all of that happened to it, and it was totaled because of an impact with an animal.
Yeah, left front there. Yeah, deer.
Do you think an animal could have done that door damage?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That actually makes a lot more sense because animals are soft.
And it just thwacked itself into there.
I'm trying to find how much it weighs.
They think the estimated retail value is $4,000. That's comical.
Oh my God, Charlie! It only weighs 2,600 pounds.
Wow,
that's a good
probably
power-to-weight ratio.
Yeah, this car probably fun.
It probably feels quick. Honest, 143 horsepower
in
a 2,600 pound car. It's like a Miata.
Mm-hmm. Suzuki SX4 2008.
Did you just ask me again if it was a manual?
No, I said with a manual.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, manual.
Review right here. U.S. News cars.
You and your U.S. News.
Well, they came up. Fun to drive is one of their pros.
I believe it.
Handsome exterior, tall structure affords outstanding headroom and great visibility.
That is true. It does have a high roof line.
Introduced SX blah, 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 blah. SX4 Sport is a sedan, 4-door format. Great alternative. Holds its own. Car and Driver specifically calls the SX4 the cure for the common Corolla. Sporty car.
Hey.
Yeah. The Suzuki is hot, and with its all-new SX4 Sport, it has no plans of cooling down. Yeah, Chris, I think you're talking us into it.
Yeah, let's have it.
Because every CoPart car has gone well for us here before.
Actually, they have, haven't they? Well, mine's just sitting out there still.
Yeah, but mine is morphed into a truck.
Yeah, two trucks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you got another one for us?
Yeah, and this is an alternate car, actually, I think. If you weren't interested in the Suzuki, we could consider this one for a race car.
All right, I will say maybe you should consider just bidding on the Suzuki and seeing if you can get it for like $400.
That's true. Could
do a minimum bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this one is 720 229 02.
Huh. This is a 2006 Ford GT. Dude, this is sad.
Look at one of the wheels is gone.
Who did this? Who did this to this poor car? Like the door doesn't close properly anymore. We could turn this into a race car.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
The bid's only at $136,000.
Yeesh.
God, it's had 3 owners.
So sad. It's a beautiful blue color, blue with white racing stripes. It's DeMuro spec, really.
Yeah. First owner. Oh God. Are you ready? First owner, Rancho Mirage, California. Second owner, Woodbury, New York. Third owner, Dearborn Heights, Michigan. In 2013.
Gone all over.
Crashed on 8/20/2022. Left front impact with a tree.
Left front?
I would think right front.
I would definitely think right front.
Yeah, sometimes I get it wrong.
Yeah, because the right front is removed. You think they just like stuck the wheel in the passenger seat or something like that? The tire?
Probably.
That's funny.
I've got 2 more for us.
Okay.
And I actually have like 5 more, but I've narrowed it down to there's only 2 more that I want to show.
Okay.
So here's the next one. I want you to try and find the damage on this because it took me a while to point it out. 567 514 92.
This is a 2014 Maserati Ghibli S.
And there are panels removed, but that's not the damage.
I found the damage. It's right here.
Well, no, because that's just a removed panel.
Okay.
But you will need to zoom in.
Wheels seem good. Chris has a much better eye. Oh, the suspension in the rear?
Nope.
No. Chris has a much better eye than I do for damage. We'll always walk out to a car. Is it that? Is it the hood?
Go to the next photo.
Okay.
Zoom in on that fender.
It's been shot.
Yes.
It has bullet holes in it.
Yeah, and I'm an enthusiast of buying cars with bullet holes in them, so I'm thinking about bidding on this.
Just to say you did? Because it's a salvage title.
Yes, it's in Ohio.
Yeah. Wow, yes, and I like how they circled the bullet holes.
Yeah.
I wonder why the bumper was removed. Maybe because the CoPart guys are animals when they
No, because I'm sure they were checking for internal damage to see how far the bullets went.
I see.
Allegedly, it runs and drives, but I would never purchase
a Ghibli.
Yeah.
I wonder why there's a bullet hole on the top. Like was it like
it went
shooting
skimming
down?
Across probably.
Oh. You could use the interior for putting into another Maserati that had been like
that's true
damaged on the inside.
Yeah. Find one that someone's been murdered inside of.
Actually, you just find a flood damaged Ghibli for like $5 down in Houston or Florida or whatever, and swap everything
from that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, you ready for the last car? I've saved the best for last.
Well, if it's not a Buick, I'm going to be really disappointed.
I already showed you this car. Yeah, okay. So you already know what it is.
All right.
689 011 82.
This is a 2010 Chrysler PT Cruiser.
You like the
special edition. Couture edition.
This was a 2010 only car. And there's actually an article about this on Auto Week.
Yeah, they did quite a few special edition PT Cruisers.
Yeah.
This is one of them with lipstick red seats.
Yeah, only seats. That's it. None of the other interiors.
Chrysler couldn't be bothered to do any other red bits.
You know, let me tell you why I ended up doing research on this car, because I'm scrolling CoPart, right? I click on this car because it's two-tone, and I was like, I wonder if this is like some sort of special edition. And then I get to the interior and I'm like, oh, this is definitely not a special edition because someone just like rattle canned these seats red because they look awful. And I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I looked up 2010 PT Cruiser with red interior and there were like no results. I was like, okay, so this is definitely not a special edition. Scrolling. Finally, I see a photo that looks similar to this. And it's a photo from an Auto Week article from 2010. And there was a press car of this. And, it's called the Couture, and all you get is red seats and two-tone paint. And I think there might have been, maybe there was like something else you get with it too. Let me see. But what I gathered from the article is that the journalist that got this car didn't know what she was getting until she landed off her plane. And when she got this, she was very cross. The PT Cruiser was my weekend ride. When I first saw it in the parking lot with the two-tone paint, I knew this was going to be a weekend over which I didn't want to be stuck driving everywhere. It's not a flattering look on the vehicle, she says. Then I opened the door and saw the overpowering blood red interior. Normally, I'm a fan of an interior with a little color, but it is way too much in this PT Cruiser. And then she goes on to talk about how awful the PT Cruiser was. I'm trying to see if there are any more details. It was.
Was it Alyssa Priddle?
It was Cheryl Blahnik?
Okay.
Blahnik.
Okay.
Say that. Let me see. Seating position's terrible. Engine's buzzy. I'm trying to find what was... Wow, as tested, $19,995. 2.4 liter naturally aspirated inline 4. Front-wheel drive, 4-speed auto. 150 horsepower, 165 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy, 21 mpg. That's terrible.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Couture edition, including leather seats, color keyed shift knob, luxury front and rear floor mats.
They're missing on this one.
Red body side stripe. 16-inch wheels, driver's manually adjustable lumbar support, front passenger flat seat, heated front seats, and power 6-way driver seat, and two-tone paint. Would you like to guess how much the Couture package was?
$4,000.
No. $1,000.
Wow. Yeah. That's a deal.
That is a deal.
Chris, maybe we should have this.
I think we should have it. Is it a pure sale?
No, minimum bid. But why is it like, why is it being sold? This is the
That's the
extent of the
damage.
damage.
Well, because it's a $3,000 PT Cruiser, and I'm sure the parts alone are $3,000 to fix it.
You think?
Yeah.
But not Charlie style, where you just hammer it out.
Yeah. Well, you would just drive it like that. So.
Yeah. Because
no, we should have that for sure.
Chris, there's only 75,000 miles on this, and
we could
they
sell
show
that.
it running right here with not a single engine light.
We could sell that to an enthusiast for like $5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should have it.
Are there many PT Cruiser enthusiasts?
Yeah. Someone would buy it and put flames on it. Anyways, thank you all for listening and sticking with us this long, if any of you have. If you've made it to this point, let's give them something to comment.
Couture.
Couture, yeah. If you've made it this long, comment couture, if we're saying that right. Couture, whatever.
Well, you're a fancy clothes enthusiast. You should know.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the listeners a little treat.
You're gonna get crumbs everywhere?
Actually, yeah, I should open this elsewhere. We'll be back next week to talk about the two cars that we didn't talk about in this podcast.
Yeah, you want to...
The Kona N, which we know and love. That's why we have it. And the Jaguar F-Type R Coupe, all-wheel drive.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Jaguar. Anyways.
We're going to have fun sliding that bad boy around.
It's all-wheel drive.
And if you've made it this far, you get to find out, you get to be part of me breaking the news to Chris that... he's going to have to figure out a car to drive a few days this week.
Why?
Because we're not putting that Kona N out on the summer tires out in the winterness.
It's staying here?
Yeah, it's going to have to.
Why?
Because it's irresponsible to drive a car around in summer tires and below freezing temps.
It's not snowing out.
I don't care. We're not doing it.
Okay.
Yep. So Chris will have to decide which one of his cars he drives, or he could drive probably his dad's Taurus SHO.
I was going to say I don't have a car I can drive, so...
You own 6.
I know, but I can't drive any of them.
You could drive the... We
And
don't drive the
Roadster's on
Lexus.
summer tires.
Right.
Cobalt's on summer tires. Lexus is on summer tires. ML doesn't run.
You don't
Porsche's
have
on
all
summer
seasons?
tires.
You don't drive the Lexus ever in the winter anyway,
No,
right?
it's on summer tires. Cobalt's on summer tires. And Roadster's on summer tires. ML doesn't run. Porsche's on summer tires. And what is my... Oh, and the S-Class doesn't have windows. So, yeah.
Well, there's a garbage bag for the SL, possibly.
Okay.
You could drive my F-250. Or, realistically, you could probably drive the SHO.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that.
Yeah. Or you could just not drive anywhere.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
Yeah. So we will be back at you next week to recap those cars and also bid Chris farewell to his trip to Denver.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Where you will be driving the Sierra AT4 Ultimate.
That's right. No. Nope. Wrong.
You're getting...
It's not an Ultimate.
It's just an AT4? Or is it a...
It's some special thing.
That's
not called an
AT4X?
Ultimate. Yes.
AT4X. Sorry. It's Denali Ultimate AT4X. Because GM just loves throwing on extra trims onto every single model, making them more intense. Kind of like the V, and then now it's V Blackwing.
Yeah.
Need more names. And we will have the M3 comp, 50
Charlie will have it.
Yahar, and I don't know what our other car is next week.
Nothing. You don't have anything booked.
Yeah. Drive Shop will get us something morning of. Hopefully not on summer tires.
We're Paris and Nicole.
And as always, LA on.